On this episode of Torah Tuesday, we have some party crashers that joined the set of Torah Tuesday, and today we're going to be talking about how to maintain relationship, how to maintain kavanah with our God in the middle of distractions. Welcome to Torah Tuesday. Hey guys, and welcome to Torah Tuesday, another episode. This is episode 5 of Torah Tuesday, and today, as you saw, we've got some party crashers with us today. We've got some distractions going on in the background. We've got some of our youth, my son, and we've got Maricela and Giovanna and Josh, and they're all hanging out in the pool behind me. And so follow them on their Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. You'll see their handles as they go by, and look them up if you want to connect with them. And so this week we're going to be talking about the number 10, and we're going to be talking about distractions in the midst of our life and in the midst of this count. And so we're in the middle of the counting of the Omer, and we are on day 10 of the counting of the Omer, leading up, ascending the count, ascending the mountain to have an amazing encounter with our God, with our King, on day 50, on the celebration, on the feast of Shavuot or Pentecost. And during this count, during these days, I guarantee you distractions are going to come. You're going to be flooded with things in life that are going to try to rob your attention from the actual count and from the focus of counting these days of the Omer. And so as I've shared in the past, and I shared this past weekend at our Shabbat services, is that each day has a very, very important meaning. Each day has a very deep understanding, has a very deep symbolism for each of us. And so number 10, I wanted to focus on the number 10 in one quick aspect of the number 10, and that is the letter Yud. In Hebrew, we know that the letters are also numbers, and Yud itself has a very spiritual meaning. It is symbolic and means an arm or a hand. The word Yad is a hand. So Yad represents a hand or an arm stretched out and reaching up towards the heaven, seeking God, seeking the knowledge from God, seeking wisdom, seeking understanding, praying, seeking His insights from the heavens and pulling them down here to earth. And so this is very, very symbolic for us that as we are counting these days and on day 10, that we really look at these days and are we really focused? Do we really have what's called kavanah? Kavanah is the direction of one's heart. It's the direction of one's spirit man. And are we focusing in the midst of distractions, in the midst of little purple things flying up behind me and little blue things flying behind me and floaties and people and noise, in the midst of the noise, right? In the midst of the problems and the trials and the tests and all of these things that are happening in life, are you able to tune out everything else that's going on? And are you really able to connect with the creator of the universe during this time? Very, very important. Sometimes it's as simple as looking at the distractions around you, as looking at the problems and all the things. And we get issues at work, we have issues sometimes with friends and family and in our homes and wherever it might be, and understand that the enemy is going to try to bring these circumstances into your life so that you would be focused on the distractions instead of focusing on the message that God has for you here today. So sometimes it's just strictly as simple as turning and looking at those distractions, hey guys, and saying, no more, right? Just saying, we're going to have just a minute. No more, right? We're going to have no more distractions for just a few minutes. What do you expect, right? What do you expect? So you know what I mean. You got to look at the distractions and you have to say, stop. I'm not going to focus on the problems. I'm not going to focus on the car broke down or this happened or that happened or whatever it might be. Because in all reality, we know there's always going to be distractions around us. There's always going to be something going on. And can we take this concept of the letter Yud? Can we reach up towards the heavens, and in the midst of distractions and in the midst of everything else that's going on in the world around us, can we really focus, tune it out, tune everything else out, and focus on these days, focus on something very, very important. And this word that I want to give you from the letter Yud, the letter Yud is spelt Yud, Vav, Dalet, right? Yud, Vav, O, Yud, and a Dalet. And this adds up to the number 20. Now what's amazing about the number 20 is that it also is the same value for the word chazah. Chazah. And the word chazah in Hebrew is vision. It's vision. Can you tune everything else out? And can you focus on the vision that God has given you? See, this is what happened to Israel in the desert as they were going through this process of being taken through the desert, being taken to the place where God had given them. God gave them the vision. He says, I am handing you a gift. This is a grant that I am giving to my children, and this is your gift that you will keep, that you will have, and you will have forever. And anywhere where your foot touches, it is yours. And so they lose, during this journey, they lose focus of the vision, and they end up doing laps around the mountain, right? They have sat here and they're doing circles around the mountain. Why? Because they've forgotten the vision. They've forgotten where they were headed. They forgot that God said that when we're going to the other side, when we're going to the promised land, He will fulfill His words for us. And so the vision that He has given us is so very, very important that we have chazah and that we tune out the distractions and we focus on this letter Yud. We have 40 days left. Just as Israel spent 40 years going around in circles. Think about that, 40 years going around in circles, circling around the mountain. Analyze today. Are you going around the mountain? Are you spending time just circling around the same mountain over and over and over again and not focusing on the vision which is meant for you to overcome, which is meant for you to defeat these things that are in your life, to tune out the distractions and really connect, really focus in prayer time, in worship, and maybe you're a writer, maybe you're a poet, maybe God's given you a vision for something and you've allowed it to lapse and you've allowed it to just be off to the side and you're not focusing on it and you're allowing the distractions to come in on you on life. Forget about it. Forget about what's happening with things in the home and think. Listen, God restores everything. He is a God of peace. He is a God of restoration. He is a God of overcoming. He is, during this time, He wants to prepare you for day 50. He wants to prepare you to have an amazing encounter with you on the 50th day on Shavuot. But it won't happen if we do not prepare. All right? We get out of it as much as we put into it. And so it's imperative that during these days, during these times, that we take these days and we take these times to truly prepare our hearts, to truly prepare our minds, and just tune out everything else that's going on in life and focus on Him. Don't let the enemy steal your peace. Don't let the enemy steal your focus from what God is wanting to do with you during these times. I pray you have a great feast. I pray you have a great week. Shavua Tov. Hag Sameach, and we look forward to seeing you next week on another edition of Torah Tuesday. Shalom.